I save hundreds of bucks every month in food and grocery. All these groceries for this week I got.
Are food banks being scammed by international students? That's going to be the discussion in today's video. Is this misinformation or is there something more insidious going on? We're going to discuss it in today's video with some TikToks and also an article relating to this very subject. With that being said, the first video is an individual kind of going to bat for the person who is accused of leading people on and telling them that you can actually go get free food at food banks, which is something you shouldn't be doing if you're an international student with money in the bank. So we're going to discuss that in today's video. Here we go with the first one.
I save hundreds of bucks every month in food and grocery. All these groceries for this week I got.
That is Mehul Prajapati, an international student who is being called out for utilizing food banks while allegedly holding a well-paying job at TD. But there's a big catch. Prajapati says he does not work at the Canadian bank and his story checks out. Mid-April, Prajapati posted a video on Instagram encouraging fellow students to save money by utilizing university-controlled private food banks for groceries. His video was repurposed by third-party accounts on Reddit and X, where the clip went viral, with many people claiming he works at TD Bank and earns approximately $98,000 annually. This followed a plethora of unpleasant and vile commentary laden with shades of racism and xenophobia. Viewers took issue with Prajapati for using resources meant for economically weaker members of society. But Prajapati says he wasn't talking about government-controlled food banks, rather the resources provided by private universities for students specifically. Online users labeled him cheap and shameful for frequenting food banks while having an alleged well-paying job at TD. But Prajapati told Yahoo News Canada he was only an intern with TD, that too last year between August and December 2023. Yahoo News Canada reviewed Prajapati's university documentation and the internship offer letter from TD to confirm this. We also reached out to TD for more clarity on the matter but did not hear from them in time. It's suspected that Prajapati's critics scanned his social media accounts and found the TD role mentioned on his LinkedIn and made assumptions which then spread like a wildfire. Prajapati did take accountability for the lack of context in his video and removed it. In his interview with Yahoo News Canada, he was apologetic for hurting Canadian sentiments unintentionally. Prajapati says his Canadian journey has been great so far and commended the welcoming nature of people here. But this incident shook him. He says he's a victim of misinformation. The master's student is currently suffering from anxiety and is being provided with counseling sessions by his university. Do you think people jumped the gun on Prajapati? Let us know in the comments and follow for more.
So what do you guys think about this situation? Because while this individual says one thing, there's other people speculating on something else. So this is one of those interesting scenarios where while he may himself not actually be doing this, the fact that he's telling people that you can do this when some of these international students have money in the bank, that seems to be the real issue. Obviously, people going at him with racist slander and everything else, that's definitely not good and you shouldn't be doing that. I'm not advocating for bullying in any way. I'm just saying if you're still telling people how you can scam the system, that is still a scamming action. You're still telling people how to scam. It doesn't matter if you yourself are not doing it, you're giving people an out and giving them the information on how to do that. So that in itself is scamming. So I understand that this person wants to defend this individual, but honestly, there really isn't that much to defend if you really look into it. And I feel like I have to reiterate, it's not good to bully or send out racial remarks to this person, but again, you should not be telling people how to scam the system. Here's an article by the National Post that talks about this very subject. International students' video on getting free food in Canada unleashes anger and abuse. Please die. This is what I'm saying. A lot of it is getting people very angry and the vitriol online is very toxic, to say the least. I stayed locked up at home for 6 days. Nobody seemed to want to hear my side. They just believe false things about me. That ruined the reputation I worked 25 years to build. This is what he said in one of the videos. This is how I save hundreds of bucks every month in food and groceries. He begins wearing a Wilfrid Laurier hoodie from the Waterloo-based university. He also notes, this is for everyone, all the students here. Most of the universities and colleges make food banks, which are run by trusts, churches, and non-profit organizations. Now again, if you're saying this in the video and the people who are using it don't actually need it because they have enough money in the bank or they even have a decent job, this is still telling people how to scam the system. And that's the problem.
Food bank near Toronto is banning international students from using their services. This sign was posted outside a food bank in Brampton after many international students who weren't in need were taking advantage of free food. And according to the board president, they were having people come in asking for free food with $60,000 in their bank account.
$60,000 in your bank account? That's way more than I've ever had at any point in my life in my savings account. Are you kidding me? People were using food banks with $60,000 $3,000 in the bank. That is what I consider scamming the system. That is taking advantage of something that's there for low-income families and people who really need it. So that is absolutely disgusting.
Food banks have never been as important as they are today. In March, 2 million people used a Canadian food bank. But now some food banks aren't accommodating everyone anymore, and one type of client may no longer be welcome.
Is all these young kids coming with their backpacks saying they want help.
Here at St. Louis Outreach Food Bank in Brampton, students from outside the country aren't served anymore.
But they're just raiding anywhere to get anything they can. We can't handle that, you know? Everyone's running out of food.
Food Bank has a whiteboard out front during opening hours. It says government regulations allow it to exclude international students. But is there a policy? Somebody was telling my colleague that there's a policy.
I think it's on the window, sir.
The policy.
Yes.
The food bank posts a copy of what the government expects of international students coming to study here, that they be self-sufficient. Kenny, a Nigerian student who says he has a wife and daughter, showed up for food. He asked that his face not be shown. I asked why he didn't come with enough money.
I had a projection of how I was going to spend the money that I came in here with, but probably I didn't plan well. I don't know if I didn't plan well. I don't know if the economy was the opposite of what I thought it was.
The food bank's board president says they were told some international students have money in the bank.
There's been a lot of abuse with people that come with $50,000-$60,000 in the bank, and they just want to get free food.
What do you guys think about this whole situation? This is something I've talked about in an earlier video, but I thought it needed to be addressed again because the last one I did talked a little bit about food banks and food stamps in the States. This is more specific to Canada and what's been going on with international students, especially in Brampton. That seems to be the hub of where this actually is going on. It's a real stain on international students in general because if you are an international student that might actually need this, you're going to be disregarded now because of people scamming the system over and over again. And this has led to a lot of food banks just stopping serving international students or collapsing for that matter. And that letter said that students need to be self-sufficient. So when they're coming here, they're not supposed to be scamming the system for Canadians that have actually worked really hard and paid taxes over the years, and they may have fallen on hard times and they still need these handouts. They need something to get them going. They need something to prevent them from starving. So this is just a really disgusting situation what's happening here in Canada. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comment section. Do you think this is a topic I should cover again? Let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.